People claiming it's not a vaccine because it doesn't stop transmission.
So what we know about these, most vaccines don't, not all vaccines stop transmission. But what we do know is that it actually reduces transmission by a great extent. So it both prevents infection. So the figures vary from various studies, but around 65% reduction in infection, and then even if you become infected, it probably reduces your transmission onto people by 50 to 65%. So combined, you're getting up towards 70, 80% reduction in your infectiveness.
There are some breakthrough cases, as they're being caught. People are claiming that there's lots of fully vaccinated people in hospital in Sydney and Melbourne right now. There's not, is there?
There's not. There are some, just because of the sheer numbers of cases, you'd expect some fully vaccinated people. But when you start actually looking at who's in the ICUs and and unfortunately the deaths, Sydney, 7 deaths, 5 were in unvaccinated people, 2 were in people who'd had one shot. Really highlights that unfortunately this particularly serious disease is mainly occurring in those who are unvaccinated who haven't had the opportunity to become fully vaccinated.
If the vaccine protects you, why are vaccinated people afraid of people who are unvaccinated? What risk does an unvaccinated person pose to other people?
Well, they're obviously a lot more infectious for a starter. So they may still be able to vaccinate some vaccinated people, but it's more about protecting those in the community who can't get vaccinated. So there will be people who, for various medical reasons, can't get vaccinated. There will be those who are some of the more elderly who have other conditions who are going to be more susceptible. So if you actually look at the people in hospital, again using New South Wales and Victoria as examples, the ones who are sick in hospital who've been fully vaccinated almost invariably have other conditions, other chronic conditions. You want to protect them getting infected. So it's about protecting those vulnerable populations.
Does the vaccine endanger fertility at all?
The vaccine has no impact on fertility at all. We've seen a lot of people who have had the vaccine and then subsequently happily become pregnant and with no issues at all. In fact, it's the opposite that's the concern. If you're not vaccinated and become infected with the disease, your pregnancy is going to be at a lot greater risk from the disease. And if you're vaccinated, even if you get the disease, even if you become infected, you'll get a mild disease. If you're unvaccinated, you get the disease, you're likely to end up having premature labour, and poorer outcomes for both the mother and the child.